Good morning, friends. Can I call you that? Because that's what this feels like, a heart-to-heart over coffee as the day stretches awake. I'm sitting here, the quiet of dawn wrapping around me like a blanket, but inside, it's a storm. My mind's buzzing, yesterday's unfinished to-do list, a friend who hasn't texted back, this gnawing sense I'm falling short. Sound familiar? Maybe your storm's different, bills piling up, a dream slipping away, or just exhaustion you can't shake. But then Jesus steps in with that whisper, "Come to me." And suddenly, I'm not alone in the chaos. Let me tell you about my cousin Tanya. She's a warrior, but even warriors get weary. Last night, her voice trembled over the phone, a new mom with a baby who won't sleep, a job that won't quit, and a marriage stretched thin. "I'm so tired I don't even know what rest is," she said, her laugh breaking into a sob. I wanted to climb through the line and hold her, because I've been there too. Life hands us these burdens, expectations we can't meet, silences that sting, loads we think we're meant to carry alone. But Jesus sees Tanya, sees you, sees me, and says, "Enough. Let me take it." Here's where it gets real, that yoke he talks about. It's not a fairy tale. I used to think rest meant everything stopping, problems solved, schedule cleared. But Jesus offers something better. Picture this, last summer, I was buried in work, deadlines suffocating me. One day, I escaped to a park, sat by a creek, and watched water dance over stones. No phone, no noise, just me and that flow. Something unclenched inside me. That's his rest, not a pause button, but a presence. He's the one yoking up beside you, turning chaos into a cadence you can walk to. What if rest isn't escape, but connection? Not dropping the load, but sharing it. Jesus isn't promising a burden-free life, he's promising a burden-shared life. For Tanya, rocking her baby at 3 a.m., he's there, whispering, "I've got a yoke that fits, lean into me." For you, grinding through whatever's wearing you down, he's saying the same. His gentleness doesn't demand perfection, his humility doesn't shame your struggle. He's the strength when you're spent, the peace when you're frayed. So why do we keep hauling solo when he's ready to lift with us? So here we are, friends, still sipping that imaginary coffee, still basking in the glow of Jesus' invitation. We've unpacked his words, felt their weight, and seen them flicker to life in Tanya's story. But now it's time to talk to him. To pray. To let this promise sink into our bones and spark something new. Because Jesus isn't just a concept, he's alive, listening, ready to meet you right where you're standing. Lord, I'm coming to you today. My heart's a jumble, restless, weighed down by things I can't even name. I see Tanya in my mind, her tired eyes and brave smile, rocking that baby while the world spins too fast. She's pouring herself out, Jesus, and I know you see her. Wrap her in your rest today, not just a fleeting break, but that soul-deep peace you promise. Slip in beside her, yoke up with her, and lift the heaviness she's too stubborn to let go of. Show her she doesn't have to be everything to everyone, just yours. Let her feel your gentle hand, steadying her when she sways, and it's not just Tanya, Lord. I'm lifting up everyone reading this, every soul waking up to a fight they're tired of fighting. That dad who's chasing a paycheck but losing sleep, the teenager who feels like school's a mountain they can't climb, the woman staring at a diagnosis that stole her breath. Call them to you, Jesus. Be their safe place, their collapse without shame spot. You don't demand they earn your peace, you hand it out free, like water to a parched heart. Teach them your rhythm, the one that's easy and light, the one that says, I'm here, and we're in this together. I've got a confession, though, Lord, I'm terrible at this. I lug my worries around like they're trophies, thinking I've got to fix it all before I deserve your rest. Last week, I snapped at my husband over something dumb, dishes in the sink, because I was stretched thin and wouldn't admit it. I'm harsh with myself, Jesus, piling on guilt when I stumble. But you're not waiting for me to get it right. You're here now, smiling, adjusting that yoke with a quiet, "This fits you better. Walk with me. Teach me to lean into your gentleness, to trade my chaos for your calm. I want that peace humming through me, loud or quiet, day or night. Let me take you back to a moment that still lights me up." A few years ago, I was helping my buddy Jake move into his first apartment. We were hauling this beast of a couch up 3 flights of stairs, my arms were jelly, my lungs screaming. I was about to quit when Jake grabbed the other end. Boom, night and day. It wasn't gone, but it was doable. That's you, Jesus. You don't always zap the struggle away, but you make it bearable because you're in it with me. I think of that couch every time life gets heavy. You're there, lifting, grinning, turning my "I can't" into "we can." So I'm praying for breakthroughs today, Lord. For the guy who's burned out chasing a promotion, let him hear you say, "My yoke's lighter than that corner office." For the kid crushed by grades, whisper, "You're enough, and I'm enough for you." For me, when I'm spinning out over dumb stuff like dishes, pull me close and remind me your burden doesn't break me. Show us rest isn't emptiness, it's fullness with you. A life flowing, not grinding. A load shared, not shouldered alone. Friends, we've walked through the storm together, felt the weight, heard Jesus' voice, prayed from the gut. But now it's time to zoom out and see the bigger picture. This isn't just a feel-good moment, it's a game changer. Matthew 11 verses 28 to 30 isn't a dusty old verse, it's a revolution. Jesus isn't offering a band-aid for your burnout, he's handing you a whole new way to live. And trust me, once you grab hold of it, the ground beneath you shifts. Let's circle back to those words. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. We've all got our burdens, mine's that nagging voice saying I'm not enough, Tanya's is her sleepless nights, yours might be a dream that's slipping through your fingers. But here's the twist, Jesus doesn't just see the load, he sees you. He's not fixing a problem, he's calling a person. That's why this hits different. It's personal. He's not some cosmic mechanic tinkering with your life, he's the friend who knows your name, your mess, your ache, and says, I've got room for all of it. Now, that yoke part, take my yoke upon you and learn from me, let's dig deeper. I used to think a yoke was all about work, like Jesus was signing me up for his chore list. But here's the light bulb moment, a yoke isn't about adding, it's about aligning. Farmers don't yoke 2 oxen to make them miserable, they do it so the stronger one guides the weaker one, so the load pulls straight. Jesus isn't piling on, he's pulling with you. He's the steady one, setting the pace, teaching you his way, gentle, humble, unshakable. Rest isn't standing still, it's walking in step with him, letting his strength carry what yours can't. And that line, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. It's wild when you think about it. Life's anything but easy, deadlines don't budge, babies don't sleep, heartbreak doesn't wait. So what's Jesus saying? He's not denying the hard, he's redefining it. His yoke fits your shoulders, not society's checklist. His burden is light because it's love, not pressure. Picture this, you're not hauling shame, guilt, or shoulds anymore, you're carrying his peace, his purpose, his presence. That's the trade he's offering. Who wouldn't take that deal? Let me paint you a picture from my own clumsy life. A couple months back, I was late for a meeting, rushing, coffee sloshing, keys lost somewhere in the black hole of my purse. I was a tornado of stress, muttering, "Why can't I get it together?" Then my daughter, all of 6 years old, toddles up with this lopsided grin and says, "Mommy, you're funny when you're fast." I stopped dead, laughed so hard I nearly cried. That little girl didn't care about my fumble, she just saw me. And in that split second, I heard Jesus, "Slow down. I see you too." My yoke's not about rushing, it's about resting, even in the mess. It wasn't magic, the meeting still loomed, but the weight? Lighter. Because he was there, giggling with me through my daughter's eyes. That's the vision, friends. Jesus doesn't just lighten the load, he reorients your whole stride. Tanya's rocking her baby. He's rocking with her. You're grinding through a soul-sucking shift. He's clocking in beside you. The kid drowning in homework. He's the tutor whispering, "One step, not the whole mountain." This isn't about escaping life, it's about living it with him. His rest flows like that creek I found last spring, steady, alive, unstoppable. And it's yours for the taking. So here's the spark, the push, the wake-up call: stop running solo. You're not built for it, I'm not either. Jesus is standing there, yoke in hand, eyes warm, saying, "Let's do this together." Trust him. Not tomorrow, not when you've earned it, now. Drop the pride that says you've got to carry it all. Trade the static for his song. Step into his pace and watch the heaviness lift, not because the world changes, but because you do. He's gentle when you're harsh, humble when you're proud, strong when you're crumbling. That's your partner. That's your rest. Here we are, friends, at the edge of something beautiful. We've unpacked Jesus' words in Matthew 11 verses 28 to 30, felt them breathe life into Tanya's exhaustion, my own stumbles, and your quiet battles. We've prayed, laughed, maybe even teared up a little. But this isn't the end, it's the launch. Jesus' promise isn't a pretty quote to frame on the wall, it's a battle cry, a lifeline, a dare to live differently. So let's rally one last time, grab his yoke, and run with it, together. Think about where we started. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. That's not a whisper, it's a shout from the one who knows every crack in your heart. He's not dangling rest like a carrot you've got to chase, he's holding it out, free, saying, "Take it. Now." Then he doubles down, "Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls." This is Jesus stepping into your grind, your late nights, your loud doubts, your silent fears, and saying, "I'm your partner. Let's move as one." And that kicker. My yoke is easy and my burden is light. It's not a tease, it's truth. His way doesn't crush, it carries. Let's make it real one more time. Picture Tanya, bleary-eyed at dawn, her baby finally asleep. She's not alone, Jesus is there, yoked up, steadying her sway. Picture me, flustered over lost keys, until my daughter's giggle pulls me back, he's there too, lightening my frenzy. And you, wherever you're at right now, scrolling this on a break, wrestling a worry, he's beside you, ready to lift. This isn't theory, it's flesh and blood reality. His rest isn't a vacation, it's a revolution in your soul, a peace that pulses through the chaos because he's pulling with you. Here's one last story to glue it all together. Last fall, I volunteered at a community cleanup, picking up trash in a park with a crew of strangers. I got paired with this guy, Mike, to haul a busted old picnic table to the dumpster. It was a beast, splinters jabbing, my back screaming. I was gritting my teeth, ready to drop it, when Mike, this burly dude with a grin, shifted his grip and took the heavier end. "I got this," he said, casual as anything. Suddenly, my side felt like feathers. We laughed the whole way, swapping stories, and by the time we dumped it, I wasn't just relieved, I was alive, buzzing with something bigger than the task. That's Jesus, friends. He's Mike times infinity, taking the heavy end, turning your groan into a grin, making the impossible feel like a victory. LAPSO. What's the move? Trust him. Not later, not when the stars align, right this second. You're weary. Good, he's calling the weary. You're burdened. Perfect, he's got the yoke ready. Stop flexing like you've got to muscle through alone. I tried that, and it's a one-way ticket to burnout. Tanya's learning it, I'm learning it, and you can too. His gentleness catches you when you fall. His humility lifts you when you're low. His strength powers you when you're empty. This is rest with a heartbeat, full, fierce, and yours. Here's your call, your spark, your now or never moment. Come to him. Drop the load you've been dragging, shame, fear, that lie you're not enough, and let him strap on his yoke instead. Walk with him today, through the dishes, the deadlines, the diapers, the dreams. Feel his pace, easy and light, syncing with your steps. Pray it out loud if you have to. Jesus, I'm done going solo. I'm yoking up with you. Then watch what happens, not the world flipping upside down, but you flipping right side up. Because with him, you're not just surviving, you're soaring. Thank you, Jesus, for seeing us, for stepping in, for trading our heavy for your light. We're coming, Lord, frazzled, hopeful, all in. Amen.